After recording, I decided to add a couple of extra graphics. I didn't have time to do the full reading and illustration, but if you are just listening to this audioly and you hear the music, note at that time I am showing illustrations. I've been thinking with Marcus Cage. In this video, I wanted to talk about Joy-Ann Reid and her new position on Medicare for All. Now, all of us who were following the primaries very carefully, especially those of us who were supporters of Bernie Sanders early in the process, it is hard to not have noticed how much Joy-Ann Reid, I don't know what her issue was with Bernie Sanders in particular. I don't know if it was some kind of just, blind loyalty to Hillary Clinton, that she had some kind of aggression, or if it was somebody actually, manufacturing it or getting her to do it. But for somebody like Joy-Ann Reid, she's too intelligent and smart to have not been able to think this out and come to this rational position much sooner. I draw a lot of skepticism when I see somebody switch to a position either right before an election or right after a primary. Yes, it's nice if it is actually genuine and she is going to use her platform to push for it and to try to move Biden, which I feel is kind of a fool's errand. I don't feel Biden is movable, at least not by, not necessarily by the public or by certain media outlets, unless it's a concerted effort from all of the media outlets due to circumstances. Circumstances are the only thing which I see Biden actually moving on anything. So back to Joy-Ann Reid, her taking this position now, knowing that Biden is not going to push for it, either she knows for a fact that he's not going to take this position, and so it leaves her a lane where she can try to get some credibility on the left and try to bring in lefty viewership, because I know that they have to be starting to bleed out their younger viewer audience. And if a lot of people who haven't done very much research on cable news, the age, like MSNBC is like the youngest age demographic, and it's something like 60 years old. If they don't change that, that could be a recipe for disaster, as a business model. So what my theory is that some of those people at the outlet are going to start flanking a little bit further to the left on positions that are close to almost overwhelming. So it's a safe position in the first place to take. But also, they are going to try to do this in this time period to try to quell the left, say, hey, I'm part of the left, hey, I'm on you guys' side. But one quick way to know that they are not part of the left is they will say, oh, I support Medicare for all. But they won't say, Biden needs to do this. It is unacceptable that Biden will not do this. They won't put any kind of pressure. They'll just say, well, Medicare for all makes sense right now. They've always known that Medicare for all makes sense. You cannot tell me that these people have made it to these salaries to be paid multi-millions of dollars and they can't understand simple things which I understand. I know that there have been other people, shout out to Ryan, proud resistor, who was able to see things differently, able to come around, and he has been, regularly fighting against a lot of the same people he considered allies, and he's not afraid to take a lot of the heat that he's taking, and he's calling out, people in leadership who were the actual problem. Let's see, before him you had Peter Daou and his wife Leela Daou. they made that same switch also. I'm not saying do not. I'm not saying that if somebody does make a switch and they start to come around, that they are going to be like the three people I just named, and it has a lot more credibility to it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying to expect to see it and to question it. Just like the three which I named before. And I'll be honest, especially with Ryan, I wasn't sold at first. I gave time and I watched him. I watched his back and forth exchanges, reading his threads over and over, and I came to the conclusion that yes, his turn was legitimate. I believe it was genuine. Still do believe it's genuine, and that those are not the people which I think that you need to worry about. The people you need to worry about are the Bari Weiss types, the Andrew Sullivans, who Andrew Sullivan kind of had a rocky breakup from the newspaper that he was writing for. As we all know, Bari Weiss had the very big, openly kind of blow up from the New York Times. Expect for her to be trying to nip her heels into some kind of, I guess, fake version of The Rising. I wouldn't be surprised if she found some kind of co-host, neocon for her neoliberal matchup, to try to replicate that same kind of formula. Or who knows, you have the Joe Rogan, Spotify deal and things like that. She might try that approach, or might just try doing her own podcast. As you know, I guess Michelle Obama has started her own podcast. So, expect to see more people jumping into that medium. But be skeptical. Watch them. I definitely am, So I guess, that's about all I have to say on that subject. I'll leave it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please remember to tap the bell if you guys are not getting my notifications. Also, if you enjoyed the video and you are not a subscriber, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Have a good one.